While the effects of the French Revolution of 1789 cannot really be undone, one thing is for sure, that the world of 1944 is one that has returned back to its ancient roots instead of looking to the future. This is a world of monarchs and monarchies. With the Red Revolutionaries and the Republicans squarely defeated, the world today is an oyster for the German Reich, an oyster for the great Qing dynasty, an oyster for the newly reconstructed Empire of Brazil. The world today is divided in a silent Cold War between the German Empire, the United States of America, the Japanese, and the Chinese. But the German Empire has earned for itself such a high position of power that it is undoubtedly one of the strongest empires to ever exist in history. Let's take a look at it one by one. The German Reich, the German Kaiserreich, is ruled by Kaiser Wilhelm III. But real power is held by Kurt von Schleicher and his dictatorship. Von Schleicher has established an authoritarian parliament in Germany. He is the absolute dictator, controlling all aspects of life. The German Empire has a vast empire of its own in Western Europe. After the defeat of the Commune of France and the Commune of England, the Germans established military administrations. In France, it is led by Fyodor von Bock. In Great Britain, it is led by Nicholas von Falkenhorst. And in Norway, a puppet state has been established under Rolf Fuglesang, who is the dictator of Norway. In Flanders, Wallonia, the Germans have placed King Adalbert on the throne of Flanders, Wallonia. He is a Prussian noble and now the king of the Walloons and the Flanderians. Netherlands remains one of the few neutral nations of the world, controlling a vast empire in the Dutch East Indies. In Sweden, the communist coup was later disbanded by a new reactionary counter-coup by the dictator Alex Gyllenkock. Alex Gyllenkock did not reinstate the monarchy in Sweden. Sweden remains one of the few non-monarchies in Europe. He is now the right-wing dictator and is extremely close to the German Kaiserreich. The Kingdom of Finland is ruled by another German prince, Waino I. He is a member of the Offenbach am Main family of Hesse. Finland has gotten the areas of Karelia after the defeat of Russia. After the destruction of Savinko's empire, the Russians finally surrendered. The Germans placed Pavel Bermont-Avalov as the president of the new Republic of Russia. Avalov is a reactionary once again. He is not a puppet of Russia. The Germans can't really exert complete influence over Russia. But Russia today is so deeply connected to Berlin in be it trade or diplomacy that it is more of a loose puppet. Then we have the Kingdom of Spain, which is ruled by King Juan III, another king who was supported by the Germans in his endeavor to win the Spanish Civil War. And Portuguese is ruled by King Duarte II. Again, Duarte II was rescued from syndicalism by the Germans and the Spanish. And the Germans took Mozambique and Angola as a repayment of the favor. Middle Africa today is the largest African empire ever. It is currently ruled by Ernst Jünger, who is the Statthalter of Middle Africa. He wants to begin a new spirit of adventure to the colonization of Africa. In the east, in Poland, the son of Kaiser Wilhelm August IV is the king of Poland, again very close to the German Empire. The Kingdom of Lithuania is ruled by Vytautas II. Again, he is an extremely pro-German and conservative king, an absolute monarch in all but name. In In Belarus, the destruction of the old government of Minsk led to a syndicalist revolution. Later, the German Empire reconquered it, and now Belarus is under German military occupation, the General Government Minsk under Werner Kempf. God knows when the Germans will once again reinstate the old Belarusian government to power. The Ukrainian state is another pro-German dictatorship under Danilo Skoropadsky. Skoropadsky wants to establish a new Ukraine, free of decadent parliamentary politics, a Ukraine which answers only to God and the state, a nationalist, anti-parliamentarian, corporatist Ukraine. In the United Baltic Duchy, the Germans have replaced Duke Adolf Friedrich. Initially slightly democratic, in the 1940s, the Baltic Knighthoods launched a coup. The Baltic Knighthood is another organization that now dominates the Duke's cabinet. Basically, they want to return to the traditionalist Prussian-style manor dukedom of the old times, when the Livonian Order and the Teutonic Order ruled this area. They want a conservative, anti-parliamentarian dictatorship in the United Baltic Duchy, and that's what they have achieved. The Austrian Empire and its constituents are again ruled by King Karl I, and there are various local governments in Galicia, Londomerina, Bohemia, Illyria, and Hungary. In Italy also, the aristocrats were the ones to reunify it. Pietro Ferdinando di Habsburgo-Lorena. He is the Duke of the northern Italian state of Lombardy. He has reunified the Italian Federation. The Italian Federation is basically a loose federation of Lombardia, Tuscany, Venetia, the Papal States, Sicily, and Sardinia, with Pietro Ferdinando di Habsburgo-Lorena being only the head of this federation and not a president. Remember that the Italian Federation is not a republic. It is an aristocratic kingdom, but it is not even a unified kingdom because it is basically a federation of kingdoms, more akin to the North German Federation, which was the precursor of the German Empire. In the Balkans, Bulgaria dominates the Balkans. Tsar Ferdinand I is an absolute monarch, and he has established a huge Bulgarian empire. However, his appetite has not been sustained yet. He wants to one day conquer Constantinople, rename it to Tsargrad, and establish the Second Bulgarian Empire. But he is stopped in his tracks by the huge Ottoman Empire. Yes, with German help, the House of Osman has reconquered its empire that it once held before the British destroyed it in the Victorian era. The Ottoman Empire has turned back to its reactionary roots under Sultan Ahmed IV. It is now a reactionary Islamist military dictatorship. Persia is a puppet state. The Ottomans have reinstated Hassan Shah Qajar as Shah of Persia, but under strict guidance from Constantinople. Meanwhile, Albania is a German puppet state under Luigi Ponchi. Montenegro is ruled by King Mihailo I, Serbia is ruled by King Petar II, and the Kingdom of Greece is again ruled by a pro-German monarch, Paulos I. The Emirate of Kyrentia is pro-Ottoman, and it is led by Yusuf Borahil al-Mismari. After the destruction of the British Raj, the Germans divided India into various constituent states. India was attacked from two sides. On one side by the Germans from the west in an alliance with the Ottoman Empire, and on the other side the Japanese attacked it. Thus the Entente was finally destroyed. The Germans gave a huge Islamic state in Punjab to the Muslims of India. It is led by Allama Mashriqi. It is an extremely Islamist and reactionary state. In the other parts of India, the Germans established more pro-Hindu states. Kashmir is an exception. It is neither a Hindu state nor a Muslim state. It is a princely state, and the King Hari Singh of Kashmir simply changed his allegiance from King Edward of Canada to Kaiser Wilhelm of Germany. The same principles of the British Raj now applies to Kashmir, the last remaining monarchy of India. In the east, the Japanese established their own puppet state, Bengal. Unlike Punjab, Bengal is not really an Islamic state. Rather, it is a pluralist state which is led by a Muslim president, Sayyid Malik. But now we come to the greatest part of Asia. After the Great Asian War and its victory in it, the Great Qing reunified China, pushed out the Japanese invaders, and signed the historic Treaty of Tokyo, in which the Japanese agreed to leave China alone. Yes, just like the German Empire, the Great Qing has restored the old status quo before 1912. Aisin Gyoro Puyi is now the monarch of the Qing dynasty. Parliament is led by the new Chinese Empire Reform Association, which wants to drag China kicking and screaming into the modern age. At the same time, it also wants to return to the traditional style of decentralized local rule in the various constituencies of China. The Korean Empire in Korea, Aisin Gyoropuyi and the Germans together restored the Korean monarchy under Yi Yun, a member of the Joseon royal family. The Empire of Japan, though humiliated by the Chinese, maintains a huge empire. Philippines is their puppet state, and so is Burma, Shan, Bengal, and Nepal. Japan is ruled by Emperor Hirohito, and he is guided by the Imperial Rule Assistance Association, a clique of army generals and ultranationalist politicians who wish to restore strict imperial rule in Japan. German East Asia is another crown jewel of the German Empire, led by Helmut von Moltke. He is currently busy fighting insurgencies of the Vietnamese and the Laotians, but they have been seriously given a blow after the destruction of the communist and Entente powers in the world. Australia remains under German and Japanese military occupation, with the Japanese managing the north and the Germans managing the south. The situation is reversed in Papua New Guinea, where German East Asia controls the north and Japanese puppet state of Papua under Stanley Matane controls the south, while New Zealand remains independent. After the fall of the Entente, it signed a deal with the Germans to remain neutral and independent. It is a dictatorship led by Bernard Cyril Freiberg. Now we come to America. The American Union State reunified America after its victory in the brutal Civil War. During the German Entente War, the United States of America conquered Canada. Quebec was granted independence under Paul Goyen. The United States of America is led by Martin Dees Jr. He is a member of the authoritarian wing of the America First Party. He came to power after Huey Long's assassination. He is one of those political machine politicians. Basically, he is reluctant to give up power, even after America has been reunified. America is now an authoritarian, corrupt democracy, and it is extremely close to Germany, but recently a Cold War has started. Mexico and Yucatan are its puppet states. Cuba remains under the dictatorship of Martin Diaz-Tamayo, a man who has made nefarious deals with the American mafia. Cuba now is the perfect tropical paradise for American tourists, dominated by the American mob families who manage various rackets, from casinos, gambling, prostitution to protection rackets, and recently even real estate rackets. Cuba is the dream of any mobster. Anyone can come here and get rich quick. In Brazil, traditionalist absolutist rule was once again reinstated by the integralists, who invited Pedro III to retake the throne of Brazil. And after wars with its neighbors, its socialist neighbors, the Brazilians have established their empire all over South America. Argentina, for example, is led by Miguel de Andrea. He is an extremely conservative, ultra-Catholic, anti-liberal and corporatist man. He has collaborated with the Brazilians. The Empire of Brazil itself is an ultra-Catholic, integralist and traditionalist monarchy which rejects parliamentarism, rejects everything that came after 1789. It rejects the rights of man even, although it does believe that believes that men must have rights. These rights come from God and King alone, or in this case, God and Emperor alone, not from any constitution. And thus the world is dominated by these traditionalist power blocs. May it be the traditionalist German Empire in Europe, the Islamist Ottoman Empire, who is also the Caliph of Islam, be it the Punjab, which is one of the most populous Muslim states on earth after the Ottoman Empire, be it the Great Queen under Icing Europuyi, be it the absolute monarchy of the Empire of Japan, or the integralist Empire of Brazil. The days of revolution are now truly over. Let's take a quick look at some of the power blocs. The Reichspakt is the greatest organization on earth. It controls most of Eurasia. Only the Italians, the Romanians, the Serbs, the Swiss and the Montenegrians in Europe have not joined the Reichspakt. The Austrian Empire has its own power bloc called the Donau-Adria Belt. The Reichspakt also includes the Great Ottoman Empire, Russia, India, Persia, and not to mention the Dutch territories in East India and Australia. The co-prosperity sphere contains Japan and its puppet states, while the Andean Pact is a pact between Peru, Ecuador, and Colombia. It is once again an extremely conservative pact. All of these people, be it Gustavo Rojas Pinilla in Colombia or Manuel Arturo Odria in Peru, all of these are extremely conservative. Odria in particular is a Catholic man. He seeks to restore the Portuguese democracy, but he also wants caudillismo, rule of the all-powerful caudillo. One of the last remaining socialist power blocs in the earth was the People's Vanguard. But recently the People's Vanguard has been destroyed. But the right-wing dictatorship of Jose Leon Castro has maintained the power bloc, the alliance, as a way of continuity, establishing continuity in his war with the Nicaraguans. Peace has thus been brought, but it has been brought under the Holy Cross, under the moon and the star of Islam, under the banner of the Great Queen or the House of Amaterasu. And that is all for today, my friends. Thank you.